Okay, so we're going to call the meeting to order, and if everybody wouldn't mind standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call, please.
Yes. Ms. Webster?
Yes.
Mr. Morrow?
Are you here?
No.
You.
Here?
Mr. Morrow?
I'm here. Sorry.
Mr. Renzi?
Present.
Ms. Drumheller?
Present.
Mr. Denise?
Here.
Mr. Agadello?
No.
Okay. And Ms. White may be later?
Here. Can you hear me?
Thank you.
So we have a new member, correct?
Correct.
Hello. I was not on the roll call, but my name is Robert Allen, and I'm here.
All right. Mr. Allen is the alternate member.
Alternate
As a
member, and is Mr. Agadello?
I'm unsure of where he is.
Okay. I don't know if he's still on the committee or not.
It looks
But we'll
like he's
find
still
out.
appointed.
I think at the last meeting, Brian was going to investigate that and decide whether or not.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
me too.
Okay, so you have everybody now, is that right? All right. So Antoine, do we have any modifications or additions to the agenda?
No,
Announcements?
no additions or modifications.
No announcements, cool. All right, have you all read the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes.
Somebody want to make a motion to,
I make a motion, we accept the minutes.
I'll
second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Public input. Do we have any on Zoom? Probably not.
Nobody's raised their hand.
Thank you. All right, let's go to unfinished business. Current project updates.
On the project updates, we have, we've moved forward and installed the football goals at the football complex. That's completed and in the ground, and they're already being used. And we're on task to move forward with the removing the playground at Easy Lake. That'll be removed next week, the first week of July. That's scheduled to be delivered the second week of July.
Oh, good.
So we're moving forward with that, and those are the only park updates I have. We did do a small project over at the dog park. We took down the front of the fence that was marred and broken and replaced it with new fence, and we resodded the areas that were dug up by the dogs. Other than that, that's the only big things we've done this time.
Fantastic. Okay. All right. Does anyone have a park update? Anybody want to start? Park updates? Any of your park that you, let's start with Mr. Morrow.
Okay, I'll start. My three areas of responsibility is the yacht club, which looks fine. The Main Street boat ramp still looks fine. And nothing much new to report on pickleball at the current time.
Excellent. Mr. Renzi, do you have anything?
No, Riverview Park looks great. The extra benches are serving a purpose. People are using them to look out at the water and relax. And everything else looks great.
Awesome. Mr. Denise?
No, I think I've been to every park in the last few weeks, and I really believe, that our parks are in great shape. The only thing that you hear little things about is the docks, when are they gonna be fixed and everything, but the typical stuff, but I mean, I think that we are doing an excellent job with all the parks. It's a nice drive that my wife and I like to make a few times a month because it's just so relaxing to go around the
To all
parks.
the parks. Thank you. And our newest member, so everybody takes a park or two to keep an eye on, and I think we're gonna go over that, later on tonight. So you can have a park or two. Ms. White? Are you there?
She appears to have dropped.
Uh-oh. How about Ms. Drumheller?
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Sorry I'm
Hey.
not there today. The only, Filbert Park, the only comment that I have is when you go from the parking area to walking where the trail is with all the vegetation, there is really an influx of red ant mounds, which I personally got to experience. Thank you so much. And I don't know if that is something that can be put on a list to try to take care of some of the ant problems. Periwinkle Park is fine, and Antoine already talked about the modifications at the dog park.
Awesome, thank you. And I keep an eye on Hardy Park, and that looks really good, too.
If I could, excuse me, if I could back up and say, let her know that we'll go ahead and take care of all the ant problems that are at Filbert Park and make sure we go through it thoroughly. We have a couple of products, and we'll probably use a product called Advion. It won't bother any animals. It really just attacks the ants itself. So
Excellent.
we'll go ahead and treat with Advion in that park.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It appears Ms. White has rejoined.
Ms. White?
Sorry, my internet went off.
Uh-oh. Do you have
Okay,
any
we're on.
updates on your parks?
No, I don't think so. No, I haven't heard or seen anything, so I think we're okay. Just waiting for the playground.
Excellent. That's in the second week
Yep,
in July. Awesome.
okay.
Thank you. All right, any upcoming events at Review Park?
Sorry. We have the July 4th event getting ready to kick off on Tuesday. I encourage everybody to come on out and have a good time.
Excellent.
That's the big event and be lots of fun.
Is it bicentennial also?
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah, there'll be several events in the park that day.
excellent. Sounds like fun. All right, so new business. It's come the time of year again that we have to select a chairman and vice chairman and adopt the rules of procedure. So, I'm going to read this instruction. I'm going to open the floor for members to nominate fellow board members for the position of chair. And so I'm going to say it right now. At this time, I'll call for nominations for the chair. Do we have any nominations?
Yes, I would like to nominate you for the chair. I think you've done an excellent job this past year. And Madam Chair, I'd like to see you stay on for another year.
Thank you, you're very kind. Are there any other nominations?
I would like to nominate Vicky for the chair. I think she would be really good at it. Vicky?
Yes, I'm here.
You're no longer an alternate, right? Or are you still an alternate?
I am not an alternate. I am a full member now.
Okay.
Okay, would you, I will second that. Ms. Drumheller, would you be interested?
I have no problem doing that. I have been chair in the past of some organizations.
Okay. Well, you're it. Oh,
Wait a
I
minute,
guess,
I didn't hear any vote. There's no.
yeah, I know, I said, wait a minute.
I'll vote for you, Vicki. I think you'll do a good job.
Yeah, I think it's time for somebody to have a chance to do it. So, is there any other nominations? Okay. So Janet, you're supposed, because there's two, you're supposed to call roll, and that person with the highest votes is chair.
Let me make sure I know who is doing what. Ms. Webster, you were nominated again as chairperson
Yes.
by Mr. Denise.
Correct.
And Ms. Drumheller was nominated by Mr. Renzi
And seconded by
and
me.
seconded by you.
Yes.
Okay, so, we will call the roll for the chair.
So can I just butt in 1 second? Since we didn't have a second for me, do we even have to do that?
No,
I'll second the nomination for Ms. Webster.
okay, all right, thank you. So now we'll call the roll. Mr. Morrow?
Oh, you want to vote?
No, say present.
Oh, I'm here.
No, aye or nay
For who?
for Ms. Drumheller.
Aye.
I mean, Ms. Webster, I'm sorry.
For Ms. Webster, aye.
Mr. Renzi?
Nay.
Ms. Webster?
Nay.
Mr. Denise?
Aye.
Mr. Allen?
Nay.
So we have three.
Oh, you forgot
nays.
me.
I'm
Oh, you
sorry. Ms. White?
I'd say no.
Oh, so we have 4 nays, 2 ayes. So the
Nays have it.
nomination.
That's fine, that's good. Yes.
So,
So Ms. Drumheller is now,
We have to do a roll call.
I
well,
thought we just did a roll call.
we
That
did a
was
roll
for
call.
you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but there were 4 nays. So
Right.
now what does that mean?
Well, then that's gonna be 4 yays for Ms. Drumheller, and Ms. Drumheller is, the way I see it.
I think we should just go ahead and do a roll call for
Okay,
her.
do a roll call
Absolutely.
Okay,
for Ms. Drumheller, I'm sorry.
this is
It'd be
for
that
Ms.
hard.
Drumheller. Mr. Morrow?
Nay.
Mr. Renzi?
Yay.
Ms. Webster?
Yeah.
Mr. Denise?
Nay,
Nay?
nay.
Mr. Allen?
Yay.
Ms. White?
Yes.
The ayes have it.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Drumheller.
Okay, thank you so much. I am hoping, that you will finish this, meeting, since you are physically present.
Okay, well, you're supposed to be getting in my chair right now.
Yeah, well, I'm on farm duty in Ocala. I'd rather be there, really.
Is that okay?
That's fine. We'll have to, also, we'll have to nominate, go through
A vice-
nominations
Oh,
for
a vice chair. Okay. Could we have nominations for vice chair?
I'd like to nominate Ms. Webster. Would you just be a backup for this year? I know you wanted to get out of the seat, but
No, that's
I'd love
fine.
to see
I
you
can do that,
as vice chair.
if nobody else wants to.
I would second that.
So, all in favor? Or is there any other nominations for vice chair?
Do we need a roll call on that?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Mr. Morrow?
Abstain.
Mr. Renzi?
Yay.
Ms.
Sure.
Webster?
Yes.
Mr. Denise?
Yay.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Yes.
And Ms. Drumheller?
Yes.
There are 6 ayes and 1 abstention, so the ayes have it.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Ms. Drumheller, you're at the next meeting.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll be back in town.
Good. All right,
Can I ask a point of order?
Okay.
Okay. Was I know we were down to 4 members and 2 alternates. And, was the 5th position announced to anybody if they wanted to be full-time board?
an
I
alternate.
can't answer that, because I don't know.
Ms. Webster, I can tell you that it was posted on the Sebastian webpage, and it was posted on the city page, looking for there were openings on, I think, 3 committees for alternate positions as well as full positions with expiring terms. And the instruction was to contact the city clerk.
Thank you.
The reason I ask was in the past, the city clerk actually contacted those of us that were alternates. And that did not happen this year.
Oh. I'm sorry. I'm not like involved in that at all.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Nobody knew.
But it's something we can check on, you know, how they typically do that. Okay, so we're gonna discuss the Adopt a Park Committee member allocations.
Thank you. We currently have a few parks open. Correct me when I'm wrong. It looks like Barber Street Sports Complex is Miss Webster. Blossom Street, Mr. Denise. Bryant Park is a vacant park. It's open. It needs an Adopt a Park person. Community Center is Miss Webster. Dog Park is Miss Drumheller. Easy Street, Miss White. Filbert Street, Miss Drumheller. Friendship Park, Mr. Renzi. Garden Club Park, Miss White. George Street Park, Mr. Denise. Hardy Park, Miss Webster. Historical Park, if you're unfamiliar with that, it's on Schumann Drive, just before the railroad tracks. There's a fountain in it.
Okay.
So that's Historical Park, and it's vacant. Main Street Boat Ramp, Mr. Morrow. Periwinkle Park, Miss Drumheller. Riverview Park, Mr. Renzi. Schumann Drive Park, Mr. Denise. Kildare Park is vacant. Stormwater Park, Mr. Renzi. Yacht Club Boat Ramp, Mr. Morrow. And Mr. Morrow also has the pickleball complex. So we have 1, 2, 3 open parks that could be adopted.
Mr. Allen, are you
think
interested?
I think all those parks were all allocated to Mr. Aladero when his term expired last month. Is this something that I think there's 2 questions. Does anyone want to get rid of a park or do a different park that's presently assigned? And then secondarily, does our new alternate member know where all these parks are, or does he have a preference based on where he lives, what might be easiest for him?
I think we should wait to the next meeting for that, because then we'll have a person in that, the alternate in. And the other 2 positions, is it 1 or 2 that are alternates now that are on the board? Because those would be changing too if they want to be regular seated on the committee. So I'm thinking maybe we should wait till the next meeting.
Okay, Mr. Allen?
So 2 points. First is I'd love to know more about the responsibilities for adopting these parks, just to have it on the record. Second is these 3.
Turn your microphone on.
Yes, I can. So first, I'd like to know the specific responsibilities for adopting the park, what is expected. Second is I'd love to have the list so that we can look into these parks. Third is I believe one of the voices called out that there might be reshuffling. People who currently have parks may want to shuffle those. I'd love to have a longer discussion on that, or at least hear the discussion on that.
Okay.
And fourth is I'm an alternate.
You are an
There appear to have been 7 votes on a board that I think is 5 + 1, I think. So I am not sure if I'm going to be stepping on other people's toes by taking on this responsibility, and I want to make sure I don't do that on meeting number 1.
Okay, that's a good idea. So why don't can we put this off for next meeting?
Of course. Just to answer a few of your questions, your responsibility when you adopt a park is to generally just oversee it, take notes on things that you see good or bad, you know, check to see that the park is being used or utilized to its, you know, fullest advantage. And it's pretty evident anytime you go by it. You know, if you go by it and, you know, it's a morning time and it's the dog park, it should be full of people. If it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, it should be empty. So pretty much that's...
Robert, I've been on the committee for a long time, and we formed this years ago just so that we had eyes and ears on different parks, and that's how this came about. And if you, like, I have Easy Street Park, so I do drive around it, but I also walk it, and sometimes I'll ask people in the park if they, you know, what they like, any concerns, and you get some public feedback. Look at equipment, you know, look at things in the park. If you notice trees need to maybe be trimmed back or something, it's mainly so that you're the eyes and ears, because the Parks and Rec people aren't able to do that for all the parks. So that's kind of how we came about doing that.
Okay, I understand. Thank you very much.
And Robert, did you get the packet with the agenda? Did you get a link in email for this meeting that gave you a link to click where the agenda is on the Parks and Recreation
Yes.
Committee on the Sebastian site?
Yes, I clearly didn't go deep enough into the specific parks, though.
Oh, that's okay, but if you download all of the, and you can do that before our next meeting, actually all of the parks are listed there. The agenda is there and any supporting information in the last minutes. So that at least would give you an idea of where the parks are that are currently open, and maybe we can have a discussion, and some people are tired of taking care of a certain park and might want to move to a different one, so we can certainly discuss that next month.
Madam Chair, maybe for further explanation, this morning, for instance, when I was at Blossom Street Park, which is one of our parks, my park, somebody my wife and I just happened to be looking, and we added a place for Will said, and somebody who wouldn't identify themselves, they just said they were a neighbor, and said, why is there grass between where you park and there? Why wouldn't you put cement all the way through? Well, that is something, truthfully, that I wouldn't bring up at this meeting, but I would talk to Brian or Anton about when I seen them, because there wasn't a complaint or anything. There was a question asked. I didn't have an answer for it. Is this something that we should consider? So I think there's a lot of leeway. You just have to decide what you do. In tennis, a few years ago at the special tennis courts, I would get hit every single day with it. Now it's been peaceful for a long time, so it's, you know, who knows?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So I would have a question, because I know the last council meeting, they just approved people. So if we can have a list of who's on the committee now, that would be good.
Okay.
Who's regular members and alternates, and how many do we have?
I'll make sure that I have that at the next meeting.
Awesome, thanks. Does anybody have anything else? This is such an easy meeting tonight.
So did we, was a motion made to move, do we need a motion to move to the, put this back on the agenda for next meeting?
Do we need to make a motion for that?
No, I think it just gets added on.
Okay, fine.
Awesome. So if anybody has anything for the next agenda for the next meeting, let Antoine know. And the next meeting will be July 24th.
Can I let them know now?
Yeah.
Okay, because we talked about this last month, the discussion about additions to the pickleball complex?
Yeah, I believe Brian is still working on those numbers and looking into that project. It was the addition of 4 pickleball courts, and there is no room to the east of that, and of course, there's no room to the west of that because of the swale area in the back. So we'll either have to go north or south, and I know there's no room to the north.
I think there's a swale up on the north too.
Yeah, so, you know, he's looking into, you know, what the agreement is with the airport, which we will have to pay rent to, you know, to add those additional courts. So he's still looking into that.
I'll get in contact with him.
Okay.
Excellent. Does anybody have anything? No? Okay. Well, thank you all, for putting up with me for all this time. And, I look forward to Ms. Drumheller. So anybody want to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
See you next month.
No,